blog, it's Friend Show.
What's up, you guys? Famous Ashley Grant here, and today I have my very good friend Tracy Shaw from Food, Wine, Sunshine and Healthy Family Project. We're going to be talking all about what it's like to work not only for a brand, but also keep maintaining your own blog. So Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to have you here. So how's your day going today?
Not too bad, actually. I let my children skip school so they could go to the beach. And then we have a track meet later. And this is a perfect break in the middle of the day of everything else. So thank you.
That's awesome. So, okay. So that goes perfectly with the whole sunshine aspect of your blog. So yeah. I get the impression based on the name of it that you like food, wine, and sunshine.
Absolutely. You actually helped me rebrand it. When I was trying to come up with the name, I think almost 2.5, 3 years ago now. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually do recall that. I do. I just don't know if you wanted to chat about that. But yeah, I really did enjoy like trying to help you come up with the name. Because before it was something else. What was it before?
Yeah, I think it's been almost 12 years now as Having Fun Saving. And then probably about halfway through that, I added in the cooking aspect. So it was Having Fun Saving and cooking. And then I needed something that was a little bit more me. So that's where Food, Wine, Sunshine came in.
Well, since you did open the can of worms, I'm going to go ahead and jam on that for a second. I remember whenever you and I were like brainstorming what in the world to call it. And you were talking about all these different names. Like you came to me and you had all these different names. And all I could think was, why not do something that reflects exactly what you love to talk about? And so I really enjoyed like helping you come up with that because it's such a perfect name, especially for what you write about.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said one simple sentence. You said, when I think of you, I think of food, wine, and sunshine. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's totally what it is.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that was perfect. And I'm like, all right, good. Well, I'm glad I make you think of food, wine, and sunshine. So
absolutely. Especially since those are like three of my favorite things in the whole world.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's take it way back because you and I met a while ago. Was it 2015?
Yeah, I think so. 2015 or 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we met at a food and wine conference.
Perfect.
So, tell me a little bit about what now?
I thought that theme's fitting for us.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So now with the food and wine, tell me a little bit about how like everything progressed. Like you started with the Having Fun Saving, you started doing the food aspect of things. And then, I'm looking around because my dog's going a little bit nuts next to me. He's sitting right next to me. So tell me a little bit about how everything progressed from like the beginning of when you started blogging all the way to now where you are now.
Sure. When I was actually a pediatrician doctor's appointment with my daughter, almost 12 years ago now, and I was I had stopped working when my son was born, and that was fine. I was in sales management at a staffing company. And I knew I wanted to stay home. But when she was born, I just felt like I needed something. And I was literally just reading a magazine, and like the front of the magazine, it said, how to start a mommy blog. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. Because, I mean, that's what everybody thinks when they read an article, that things are so super easy. And that's kind of how Having Fun Saving was born. It was nothing about it was easy. Hours and hours and hours of I started looking for deals because I think way back then everybody was in a hard financial spot, me included. My husband told me I had to figure out how to save money or I needed to go back to work full time. So that's what I figured. If I needed to save, other people did too. So I not only did the blog, but I did a lot of mom meetups. I did a lot of church groups. I did a lot of speaking, trying to help people save money on their grocery bills. From there, I wanted to go to teaching people how to use the food that we're buying for cheap. So that's where the cooking aspect came into it. And then throughout those years, I established relationships with companies that I really enjoyed working with. One of them being CK Mandavi. So I ended up talking a lot about wine and wine cocktails and things. And then my food got a little bit more, I wouldn't say complicated because nothing I make is complicated, but just a little bit more in depth than, chicken and noodles and things like that as my kids continued to grow. So that's where the food and the wine and came into play. And here in Florida, sunshine's perfect. And then I tossed in some of our family travels. So that's where I am now.
What I love the most about your blog is that even though it's sort of a lifestyle blog, it definitely does have a solid niche to it. It's, it is just the food, wine, and sunshine, and the sunshine aspect being the travel. So it doesn't get overly complicated, but it also gives you lots of opportunities to kind of talk about more than just one little thing.
Right.
One of the things that frustrates me the most about blogging is that they tell you got to niche down. The riches are in the niches. They always say that kind of stuff. But for someone like me, and I know like you, being like a multi-passionate entrepreneur, someone who cares about more than just one little thing, it's so hard to put yourself in a box. And so I love the fact that with such a fun subject, you get to talk about multiple things. So I'm kind of curious how, I know how the food and wine sunshine aspects of things went down, but how did you end up working for such a well-known brand as Healthy Family Project?
So actually, throughout my blogging career, even starting back with having fun saving, I worked with Produce for Kids. So they would have 2 campaigns a year. One is Mission for Nutrition, which is actually going on right now in the month of March. And then the other one is our Power Your Lunchbox Back to School campaign, which obviously focuses more in the fall and getting ready, get the kids ready for back to school. So I've done blog work for them actually for 7 years now. And in the progression of all this, I told you I started having fun saving when my daughter was 2. So as my kids are getting older, my son is now 17 and driving places. He takes my daughter to practice. Things definitely get, I don't know, when you're so super busy when they're small, and then you go through this, I don't know, life changes, I suppose, with them. And then you had a little bit of free time. And my now boss, Amanda, reached out to me by email 10 months ago now. I can't even believe it's already been 10 months. And said, hey, we have a job opening. Do you have anybody in your wheelhouse that might be qualified? So as I'm reading the job description, it was writing blog posts, food photography, client interactions, being able to deal out WordPress. I'm like, and obviously other stuff too. But as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I could totally do that. And I'm very happy with where Food, Wine, Sunshine is. I have a good amount of content, and I know I would still be able to do that. It's just that, well, my kids will always need their mother, but they don't need me quite as much as they did, 5 years ago. So I thought it was a good time to look at something. And I really lucked out because we are in a place where my husband's very happy where he is. We are okay financially, so I didn't need it, but I wanted it. So, which is a really cool place to be. And I think that showed in the interview process, and I'm hoping it still shows to this day. So I have a great team there, and they're fully supportive of Food, Wine, and Sunshine too. So I really am the best of both worlds.
What I love the most about that relationship of you working for this brand and yet also still working for your own blog is that they're okay with it. They actually are okay with it, because what often happens whenever you start working for a website, at least in my experience, is it becomes very much your stuff needs to go to the wayside. You need to focus more on our stuff because that's what we're paying you for. But I love the almost synchronous relationship that you guys seem to have, where, they know that you're going to show up and you're going to give, your all to their website, but that you're allowed to keep your own project and it's okay. And I'm very fortunate that now I'm sort of in the same situation where I can play with my own things, but I also have my, my clients that I serve and I take care of them. But yeah, I think it's important to, if you are going to, branch out to work for someone, that you have someone who understands that even though you are giving them your all, that's not your all. And I do like the fact that you said the thing about, now that your kids are starting to do so much out of the house, it's almost like you're thwarting the empty nest syndrome. Yeah.
Like, I had spaces to fill, and I have talent. I have experience. I mean, blogging now for 12 years. It was really exciting for me in order to take those skills and those talents and put them on a bigger platform. Well, Food, Wine, Sunshine has been around for a while, obviously. A Healthy Family Project has been around longer. They have a much larger customer and client base. They're in the retail space. So to take my areas of expertise and amplify them is actually it's fun. It's exciting. Knowing that you're touching even more people. It's cool.
Well, and what I also like is that it seems like with your website and with theirs, you guys have a very similar mission, though it's not necessarily to, save money anymore, although that is a goal. You do want to be good stewards of your money and your food, but that you genuinely care about the health of what you're serving your family. You genuinely care about what you're creating in the kitchen. And it goes so much further than just, like you said earlier, the chicken and noodles. You're actually putting effort and thought into every meal that you're creating. And I love the Healthy Family Project website because they come up with recipes I never would have thought of, but then again, so do you. And so it definitely feels like a really good fit.
So yeah, this is great. I mean, Healthy Family Project just rebranded about 2 years ago, and they had a very strong focus on mainly produce. And now we're more better for you products. But it's a lot of fun to see all these different ways to use produce. Some ways I've used on mine, but now you open your eyes to like a whole new wheelhouse of recipe opportunities. It's cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And in fact, one of the first things that drew me to your website back when it was still having fun saving was all of your interesting smoothie recipes. I mean, just it was fascinating how many things you created with both fruits and vegetables. I mean, I remember one of the first recipes I saw from you. It was a carrot smoothie. It had carrots in it. And I'm like, I didn't even know you could put a vegetable in the smoothie. I knew that spinach was a thing, but I didn't know that actually adding things like sweet potatoes or just just the different things that you add to it. I think it's really cool how innovative you are with your recipes and how innovative Healthy Family Project is too. So kind of going back and rewinding the clock a little bit, back whenever you were just doing just your blog, how did the monetization track go for you? How did you actually start making money from the blog? Because I know it sounded like in the beginning it was just a way to save money, but didn't you have to make money at it too?
Yes. The funny thing is that I had no idea that you could for a while. So you're like, oh, wait a second. And honestly, some of it is spent looking at other people's blogs. So instead of linking to coupons.com, they link to something else, but it still took you to coupons.com. And you're like, where'd that come from? So you slowly learn about different affiliate platforms that you could be a part of. So a lot of mine in the beginning was through coupon prints. So I did a lot, obviously, deal matchups and things like that. So a lot of it first started that way. And then you learn, you can put ads on the side of your website. You're like, oh, look at that. I don't think as much information was readily available back then. But now there's so many different things that you can search that will give you affiliate platform after ad network, after everything. And then slowly, you start to learn that when people want you to talk about their products, they'll actually pay you. I mean, it is in advertising. So people don't necessarily think of that at first either. So all of that was very eye-opening, and it's incredible that now I think it's a little bit more, accepted, understood, that bloggers are talented individuals and we do deserve to be paid for our time and effort. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing is, one of the things you were saying is so true that, back then, because I started in 2009, I think, goodness, how I've lost track of math, but yeah, 2009 was whenever I first forayed into online blogging. And, I didn't actually start really making money at it until 2011, whenever I was actually working for a brand as well. I was blogging for them on their behalf. And, a lot of it was trial and error. A lot of it was trying to figure things out. And it was very holding it close to the vest. Like if you were talking to another blogger, they were very secretive about how they were making money on their websites. And if you asked them too many questions, then they would send you a link to a course. And so I like that nowadays, even though, yes, there are still those courses and there is definitely a place for them, I like that it's so much easier to get more information. Like you can find templates on how to pitch a sponsor. You can find templates on how to even ask for, the sale or the money or the contracts, like that. Things that you wouldn't think a blogger would need. We're still running a business, basically. It's not just a hobby.
Probably wasn't until, I don't know, I'd probably say like a year or so ago, where I realized that a lot of times we should even come up with contracts stating what our deliverables are. I mean, I've definitely had companies give them to me and you sign off and say, okay. But in some situations, we should actually give it to them and be like, hey, wait a second, this is what we're doing and we expect this payment, kind of a thing. So,
well, and one of the things just in the last year that's become very eye-opening to me is also making it clear how long they have the right to use whatever you do. I didn't realize. Why now?
Our pictures. Yeah.
Yes. Like I had no idea that you could actually stipulate an expiration date on your content. Like, if you buy this for $200, let's say, it doesn't mean you can use it in perpetuity. It means you have this many days to use it, but you actually have to state that in the contract. And these are things I never would have thought of. One of my most recent guests was actually a lawyer. I had Amira from a Self Guru, and we were talking about contracts, and she gave me all these like legal templates, which we'll leave in the show notes, but it's just things you just don't even realize that bloggers actually have to be aware of, because if you're making any kind of money from your blog at all, there are certain things you have to do to not only be legal, but to make sure that your stuff is protected, your content's protected. I didn't mean to go down this rant, but
no, it's a good thing. Wait, you're gonna put those in the show notes, but I should probably review those too.
Yes, I'm gonna put it all in the show notes because it's a lot of things that I never would have thought of. And talking to her about how to be legal with your blogging, if you actually plan on making money at all, you need to think about these things.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was a tangent I didn't intend to go on, but we were talking about sponsorships and contracts, so there you go. It's crazy though. But so we kind of alluded to it, but what would you actually say you call your niche? What would you say your niche is?
Healthy recipes served up with a glass of wine.
Love it. I absolutely love that. And
because wine just makes me happier.
Well, you know what they say, wine a little, it'll make you feel better.
Exactly.
And so now, but on the Healthy Family Project side of things, what would you say their niche is?
Definitely, we have a large focus on healthy recipes, but we are expanding more and more into what makes a healthy family as a whole. So we will talk about, sleep patterns. We have a podcast as well. So where we'll talk about everything for family. We've talked about mental health issues. We've talked about, everything family as a whole. And we want the whole entire family to be healthy. And that just doesn't stem from food. It stems from communications with parents. It stems from back to school snacks. It stems from how parents can wake up and feel happy in the morning. How do we go to bed at night? And everything in between. So it's
Absolutely. Oh, that's so good, because I'm so glad you said that, because health is about so much more than what we're putting in our bodies. It's also what we're putting in our minds. It's what we're putting in our areas. And in fact, another thing that I should leave in the show notes, there's an awesome book about raising emotionally healthy children. It's by Dr. Nekeshia Hammond, and she's with Hammond Psychology. And so I need to leave that as well. But I just love the fact that nowadays it's so much more accepted to talk about health from not just a food perspective, or, you know, what medicines you should take, or what supplements you should take. It's so much more than that. And so it sounds like Healthy Family Project is definitely evolving from more than just what we're eating to what we're consuming in life, not just what we're consuming in our mouths. Yeah, that's it's so good. So what do you see for the future of both Food, Wine, and Sunshine and for Healthy Family Project?
Well, Food, Wine, was fun. I love what I'm doing there. I have a customer client base. I would say they're partners that I have had for years, and I love them all. There is a true partnership with them, and it just makes me happy. So I would like to obviously continue those. I love creating new things for them in different ways to be a part of their business. So I'll continue to grow that way. As my kids are getting older, we're doing a little bit more traveling. So we'll probably see some more travel pieces on Food, Wine, Sunshine too, which is fun. And then for a Healthy Family Project, I'm actually the digital marketing manager. So I get to control a lot of our content, which is a lot of fun. So right now, since it's National Nutrition Month, we're focused heavily on meal planning, meal prep, and recipes. So we have a lot of healthy recipes that we're focusing on right now. But then as things go on, we'll get into, we have, I don't know, I guess different themes, I guess you could say, for every month that you kind of focus on. So we'll continue to grow and add content, update old content to make sure that it's still relevant for families. So we're just growing every day, which is awesome.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And meal plans are definitely something I'm obsessed with. Oh
my God, you're so good at them.
I'm obsessed with them. Basically, just before I moved to Kentucky, right in the middle of the pandemic, my husband and I decided, hey, let's completely uproot our lives of 36 years in Florida and move to frigid and cold Kentucky. And whenever we moved up here, well, actually, before we moved up here, we decided that we were going to try to create a meal plan to get rid of everything that was in our apartment, because we didn't want to move it all and we didn't want to throw it away. So we became very strategic about what was in the pantry, what was in our apartment, so that we could, be careful about how we got rid of it. But it evolved into this 45-day plan of every single dish that we make. And so I want to release it at some point to share it with people, because every time someone sees it, they get very excited about it, because it's reduced our food waste by I'd say at least 85%. It's insane. Like I think the only thing that we throw away is I had to throw away a gallon of milk that wasn't used in time today, and that was that kills me. but yeah, just like every dish that we have, we intentionally make leftovers. I have 2 nights of leftovers in the fridge right now, because we're being very good stewards of our money and our food. And so meal plans, I'm all about it. I think that's why I like the Healthy Family Project website so much, because I glean ideas from it. But yeah, I think anybody who is looking to save money on their groceries, get a meal plan, because when you go to the grocery store, it's so overwhelming. If you don't have some sort of a plan in place, all you see is all these things that are like, hey, buy me, take me home, I'll be good.
With the conversations that I would do for grocery saving and stuff like that, I'm like, if you go into the grocery store with the intent of just buying milk, you will spend $20. It's almost impossible not to.
Yeah.
Because of those things, you have everything on the app that's and 9 times out of 10, you're either going on your way home from work, or you're running out real quick, which usually means you haven't eaten yet and you're in a rush, and so you're hungry. So it's so easy to walk in and spend more than you intended. And speaking of food waste, I think it was probably 2 months, well, probably right over Christmas break. I went through my pantry, and it's sickening, the things that you can throw away because you bought them when you went into the store and you're like, oh, that sounds good. I had a whole trash bag full of stuff, and I'm not proud to admit it, but when you have a good meal plan in place, like you said, you can actually utilize those things before you throw them away, which it's heartbreaking.
Well, and the other thing I love so much about it is there's no longer the decision fatigue of what the hell are we going to eat tonight? What are we going to cook tonight? And we were honestly, like, one of the things that was happening right before we moved up here is we were getting so bored with our food, like, because we were.
But do you plan in like a night to like go out, or do you like ever leave like a night or two blank so that if you don't want to make what's on your meal plan, it doesn't screw you up? Or like, how do you handle those? Like, oh no, I don't want this one tonight. How do you handle it?
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Actually, what we do is we have a very general, like, this is what we intend to eat over the next 10 days. And we're very intentional about, this is going to stay in the freezer, this will be in the fridge, and how many days we have to use it. So there definitely is the flexibility of, if we wake up one day and we're like, oh my God, I just want pizza tonight, which does happen a lot, or I really need steak because I'm menstrual, what I'm saying? That definitely does happen. But so it's flexible enough, but yet we always make sure we have what we need to make 10 days worth of food, which is even more important now that we're here where it's cold, and sometimes, you can't go to the grocery store because there's snow on the ground. But yeah, it's just what? I have not, but my husband has, and it's a little bit frightening. I'm very glad we work from home. But and the other thing is, with the whole meal planning thing, I'm really grateful for grocery curbside pickup, because at least if I don't have to go in the store, I'm less likely to make those impulse purchases.
I don't ever do those. I never do grocery pickup, and I never do grocery delivery, like, ever, because I think I'm so dependent on those miscellaneous purchases in store that I'm just like, I can't do it. I got to walk through the store and see everything. But in all reality, I really don't.
I gotta say though, there's something to be said about using the curbside pickup, because that's another thing that has stopped us from like buying prep we don't need, and it's also stopped us from that annoying moment where you're like, I really wanted to make the chicken tikka masala tonight, but I don't have cream, and so now I have to go to the grocery store and get cream when it's the only thing missing from my meal. And so that's another thing that I absolutely love about meal plans, is that we have all the stuff and we don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I will definitely meal plan for a couple days. But I have to, like, what I do though is, like, on Sunday, think about what I think we would like for the week. I don't always look at what I currently have available. I have to get better at that, because then I'll go to the store and buy everything that we need, but I don't always use what I have, if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense. And it definitely is a process. I mean, it's now March. And so we've been working on this for, goodness, it's been 15 months now, and we're still perfecting it. Like, we're still like trying to figure out how it works. But just the fact that every meal we have now, we're excited about it, instead of like, oh my God, do we really have to have cheeseburger macaroni again just because it's easy? It's like, no, we don't. Now tonight we're having, we have chili in the fridge, we have Swedish meatballs in the fridge. And then later this week, we're having fish and chips, because, we have we're very intentional about, we're going to have chicken, and then we're going to also make sure we have, ground beef and things like that. Like, we don't just have the same mundane, boring things every day. And so anybody who's listening to this, if you're looking for some really interesting recipe ideas, that's why you need to go to foodwinesunshine.com and healthyfamilyproject.com, because both of these websites, they have so many amazing ideas for things you can do with recipes, like with food. And variety is the spice of life. So where else? I mean, we mentioned the two websites just now, but where else can we find you online?
Obviously, I have all of them. You can find, I'm sure you'll link to them somewhere, but I include Wine Sunshine on all of mine, and Healthy Family Projects has got a couple variations just because they're a little bit longer. But Always, unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, always have my phone in my hand. So email, social media, things like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely drop all those links below. And we'll also drop the link to your smoothie book because I did talk about that. And it's really cool what you can do with smoothies. Yes, I did. And it was so fun. It was so much fun. So, and we need to rebrand it. We need to now make it the Food Wine Sunshine.
Yeah.
Well, Tracy, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show today. I know you're very busy with 2 blogs you're working on, but I appreciate that you took the time to talk to our listeners. And Bloggy friends, I hope you gleaned some insights of things that are possible for if you're a blogger. You don't just have to focus on just your own blog. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. And until next time, may your page views be high and your bounce rate be low.